This wouldn't be a proper G5 launch day, I wouldn't say, if we didn't do some sort of comparison to its predecessors. So here we are looking now at the G3, G4, and that is the G5 here on the far right. So with the G5, as a quick recap, you got that 5.3-inch Quad HD display, removable battery, all metal build, sort of that modular idea going on, Snapdragon 820, 4 gig of RAM, all that good stuff. If we pull it next to the G4 here, you can see it's quite a different phone. So, the volume rocker is gone from the backside. You didn't have a fingerprint sensor on the G4, and you do now. We have a USB Type-C port down at the bottom, along with a speaker down at the bottom instead of on the back. The headphone jack, you can see, is not there because it is up top on the G5. Obviously, one of the biggest changes, though, is going to be the camera setup. So you have a single shooter on the left in the G4. On the G5, you have a 16 megapixel shooter and an 8 megapixel wide angle lens. So you have two cameras there. And then again, there's that headphone jack up top. And here's the volume rocker on the side. So you can just see in general, it's just such a different phone. We don't really see these big jumps often from one year to the next, but with these two phones, they really are so completely different. If you notice in our hands-on video, there is no app drawer in the G5. There is obviously on the G4, so that's something we're gonna have to get used to, or maybe even just throw on a third-party launcher. In terms of the UI, it looks like LG has lightened things up a little bit here on the G5. I can't tell you if it's going to be faster or not yet. I haven't had enough time to test it. In terms of camera software, the G4 had an excellent camera, and the G5s I expect to be good as well. Overall, though, it is just a quite different device. If we look at the G3 here, which is a phone I haven't touched in a while, it actually reminds me a lot more of the G5 than the G4 does. This is obviously a gold model, and I'm holding the gold G5, so they match up nicely, but it just sort of has that bubblier, rounder feel than the G4 did. The software is not going to be all that much different, but it's odd that, in 2 years, these phones seem more similar to me, even though, it has like a dual camera setup and fingerprint sensor, than the G4 did to this. They're just completely different devices, but yet still so similar in the same way. There's not much else to say at this time. We need to, obviously spend a lot of time with each of these devices, do an actual thorough comparison, spend some more time with the G4. But for now, we just wanted to sort of give you a quick look at what it looks like next to it. And again, we'll have more coming, and we'll spend much more time with those in the coming weeks once we have that full review unit.